For almost 200 years, the galaxy believed one thing. Humans were gone. No signals. No ships. No colonies. Nothing. At first, many alien empires searched for them. Humans had once been loud, active, and full of energy. They explored space fast. They built colonies on distant worlds. They traded, fought, and made strong alliances. Then, they vanished. Some said humans destroyed themselves in war. Others believed their technology failed. A few even thought humans were too emotional to survive in the cold universe. Over time, the truth did not matter anymore. The galaxy moved on. Human worlds were left empty. Their cities turned into ruins. Some alien empires slowly took over old human planets. They used them for resources, mining, or military bases. Humans became a story. A forgotten chapter in galactic history. But not everyone forgot. Far away, near the outer edge of explored space, a young alien commander stood inside a large control room. His name was Kale. He was calm, sharp, and always thinking. In front of him, stars filled the wide glass window. His fleet was on a simple patrol mission. Nothing special. Nothing dangerous. But something felt strange. "Commander," a crew member said softly. "We are entering an old human sector." Kale did not move at first. "Human sector?" he asked. "Yes," the officer replied. "This area once belonged to them. It has been quiet for over a century." Kale slowly walked closer to the window. His eyes moved across the empty space. No ships. No signals. Only silence. He had studied humans before. Not deeply, but enough to know one thing. They were not simple. "Keep scanning," Kale said. "I want full reports." "Yes, Commander." The crew returned to their work. The room filled with soft sounds of machines and data screens. Minutes passed. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Suddenly, one of the sensors made a sharp sound. "Commander," a technician called out. "We are picking up something." Kale turned quickly. "What is it?" I am not sure," the technician said. "It's a signal. Very weak, but strange." "Show me." A screen lit up. Lines of data moved fast. The signal was not clear. It came and went like a whisper. "Is it alien?" Kale asked. "No match found," the technician said. "It does not match any known empire." Kale's face became serious. "Could it be human?" another officer asked quietly. The room went silent. Kale looked at the signal again. His mind worked fast. "Enhance it," he ordered. The crew worked quickly. The signal became a little stronger. Still unclear, but now it had a pattern. A repeating pattern. Like a message. Kale felt a cold feeling in his chest. "Play it," he said. The sound filled the room. It was not a voice. Not exactly. But it had rhythm. Like something, trying to speak. Hours later, the signal suddenly stopped. Just like that. Gone. The room became quiet again. "Did we lose it?" Kale asked. "Yes, Commander," the technician said. "It just disappeared." Kale stared at the empty screen. "No," he said slowly. "We did not lose it." The crew looked confused. "What do you mean, sir?" one of them asked. Kale turned toward the stars again. It wanted to be found. Later that day, Kale went to the ship's archive room. It was dark and filled with old data records. He searched for one thing. Humans. After a few seconds, an old file opened. A warning appeared on the screen. "Human behavior, unpredictable. High risk. Never underestimate silence. Kale read the line again. Never underestimate silence. He closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke quietly to himself. What were you doing all this time? Back in the control room, the crew suddenly became active again. Commander, the technician shouted. Kale rushed in. Report. The signal is back, the officer said. Stronger this time. Kale looked at the screen. The pattern was clear now. It was not random. It was a reply. Trace it, Kale ordered. We are trying, the technician said. But, it's coming from deep space. How deep? The officer hesitated. From the direction of Earth. Kale froze. The room went completely silent. Earth. The human homeworld. A planet that had shown no life for 200 years. Kale slowly stepped closer to the screen. His voice was low, but clear. If humans are gone. He paused. His eyes fixed on the signal. Then who just answered? The control room stayed silent. No one spoke. All eyes were on the screen. The signal was still there, stronger now. Clearer. It was not random. It was controlled. Commander, it's repeating again, the technician said. Kale stepped closer. His mind was sharp, but now something felt different. This was not just a signal. This was a message. Decode it, Kale ordered. We are trying, the officer replied. But the structure is strange. It's not like any language we know. Kale folded his arms. Or maybe, he said slowly, it is very old. The crew looked at him. Old? One of them asked. Yes, Kale said. What if this is human, but not modern human? The idea made the room uneasy. Hours passed. The fleet stayed in position. No one moved forward. No one left. It was like the entire space around them was waiting. Finally, the system made a soft sound. We got something, the technician said. A part of the signal was decoded. Not fully. But enough. Words appeared on the screen. Broken, but readable. Still, here. The room froze. Kale's eyes did not move. Show the full line, he said. That's all we have, Commander, the officer replied. The rest is still locked. Still here. Kale felt something change inside him. This was no accident. Commander, another officer said carefully, should we report this to High Command? Kale did not answer right away. He kept looking at the screen. Then he said, not yet. The crew looked surprised. Sir. If this is what I think it is, we need more proof first, Kale said. No panic. No mistakes. He turned. Send a small probe. Quiet. No signals. I want eyes on that location. Yes, Commander. The probe moved fast into deep space. Small. Silent. Almost invisible. Hours turned into more hours. Then finally. Probe has reached the outer zone, the technician said. Show me, Kale replied. A new screen opened. At first, there was nothing. Just darkness. Then, something appeared. Far away. Very far. A shape. Large. Not natural. Kale leaned forward. Zoom in. The image became clearer. The object was massive. Metal. Dark. And, broken. It's a ship, one officer whispered. No, Kale said quietly. It's more than that. The structure was too big for a normal ship. It looked ancient. Damaged. Floating in silence. What is it? The technician asked. Kale's voice dropped. It's human. The room filled with tension. That's not possible, someone said. All human ships were destroyed or lost long ago. Kale shook his head slowly. No, not all of them. The probe moved closer. More details appeared. The surface of the structure had marks. Old battle scars. But also, something new. Lights. Very faint. But active. Commander, the technician said, that ship, it has power. Kale's heart beat faster. How long has it been active? I don't know, the officer replied. But, it's not dead. Suddenly, the signal became louder. Stronger than before. The same pattern. But faster now. Almost urgent. It's reacting to the probe, someone shouted. Kale raised his hand. Hold position. The signal changed again. This time, more words appeared. Clearer. Stronger. We waited. The crew stared in shock. Waited? For what? One of them whispered. Kale did not answer. Because deep inside, he already knew. Commander, the technician said nervously, we are detecting more signals. Kale looked up fast. More? Yes, the officer said. Not just one source, multiple. The screen changed. Dots appeared across the map. 1. Then 3. Then 10. Then, too many to count. All around them. All silent before. All active now. Kale felt the truth hit him like a wave. This was not one ship. This was something bigger. Something hidden. For a long time. They were never gone, Kale said quietly. The room went still. They were watching, he continued. Learning. Waiting. Suddenly, the main signal changed one last time. Clear. Strong. No distortion. A full message appeared. Simple. Cold. Powerful. You took our worlds. No one moved. No one spoke. Kale's eyes stayed on the screen. Then the message continued. Now, we take them back. At that moment, the stars outside the window seemed darker. Heavier. Alive. Kale slowly looked up. And for the first time, he felt fear. Because now he understood the truth. Humans did not disappear. Humans went silent. And silence was their weapon. The message stayed on the screen. No one spoke. No one moved. Now, we take them back. The words felt heavy. Cold. Like a promise. Commander, a crew member whispered, what do we do? Kale did not answer immediately. His eyes were still locked on the signal. Then. Every screen in the control room went black. At the same time. Lights flickered. Systems stopped. For 1 second, the ship was blind. Status. Kale shouted. No response, the technician said. We lost control of navigation. Shields are offline. Weapons not responding. Panic spread across the room. This was not a normal system failure. This was an attack. But no enemy ships were visible. Then suddenly, all systems came back. At once. The screens turned on again. But something had changed. Commander, the officer said slowly, you need to see this. The main display zoomed out. Far out. Showing space around them. Kale's breath stopped. They were not alone anymore. Hundreds of ships appeared. No warp flash. No warning. They were just there. Dark shapes in the void. Silent. Massive. Human. Each ship was different. Some were long and sharp like blades. Some were wide and heavy like moving fortresses. All of them had one thing in common. They were advanced. Far beyond anything Kale had ever seen. Blue light moved slowly across their surfaces. Engines glowed, but made no sound. It was like they were alive. How did they get here? Someone asked in fear. No jump signal, no energy spike. Kale whispered the answer. They were already here. Suddenly, one alien patrol ship near the edge of the sector sent a distress call. Commander. We are receiving a live transmission. Put it through. The screen changed. A damaged alien ship appeared. Fire inside. Systems failing. They attacked us, the captain on the screen shouted. We didn't even see them coming. What attacked you? Kale asked. But before the answer came, the transmission cut. Gone. Just like that. Commander, the technician said with a shaking voice, we are losing contact with other fleets. How many? Kale asked. The officer checked quickly. All of them. In different parts of the galaxy, the same thing was happening. Defense stations went silent. War fleets disappeared. Entire systems lost communication. No explosions. No long battles. Just silence. Back in Kale's ship, the human fleet finally moved. Slowly. Calmly. Like they were in full control. One massive human ship moved forward. It was larger than all the others. Its surface was covered in glowing lines and deep metal layers. A command ship. Commander, the officer said, we are being targeted. Kale stood still. Shields, he asked. Active, but weak. Weapons. Ready, but locked. We cannot fire. Kale clenched his fist. They were completely helpless. The large human ship stopped. Right in front of them. Close enough to see every detail. Then. A signal came. Direct. Clear. On screen, Kale ordered. The display changed. A figure appeared. Human. The human stood still. Wearing a dark uniform. No fear in his eyes. No anger. Just calm focus. We see you, the human said. His voice was steady. Controlled. Kale stepped forward. You disappeared, he said. The galaxy believed you were gone. The human looked at him for a moment. Then he replied. We let you believe that. The room felt colder. Kale's voice became serious. Why? The human answered without delay. To watch. To learn. To remember. Kale felt the weight of those words. You planned this, he said. The human gave a small nod. For a long time. Outside, more human ships appeared. Even more. The space was now filled with them. Like a wall. Like a storm that could not be stopped. Kale took a slow breath. What happens now? He asked. The human looked directly at him. Then he said one simple line. Now, we begin. At that exact moment. Far away. An entire alien defense station went dark. No explosion. No warning. Just gone. Back on Kale's ship, every system suddenly unlocked. Weapons were active again. Shields restored. Everything was working. The human had done it. Easily. Like it was nothing. The message was clear. This was not a fight. This was control. Kale looked at the human one last time. And for the first time. He understood something very important. Humans did not come back for war. They came back to win. Before the war even started. The galaxy did not see the attacks. It felt them. One moment, everything was normal. Ships moved. Trade routes stayed open. Planets lived in peace. Then. Silence. A defense station near the outer rim stopped sending signals. At first, no one worried. Then a second station went quiet. Then a third. Within hours, entire sectors went dark. No explosions. No warnings. Just absence. Panic started to spread. What is happening? Where are our fleets? Who is doing this? No one had answers. Because no one could see the enemy. In the central systems, leaders of powerful alien empires gathered. Large holograms filled the room. Each face showed the same thing. Fear. This is not war, one leader said. This is something else. Another replied, we cannot fight what we cannot see. A third voice spoke slowly. This feels like control. Back near Earth's sector, Kale's ship remained surrounded. The human fleet had not attacked them. Not yet. That was the strange part. They were simply watching. Commander, an officer said, we are receiving surrender signals. Kale turned. From who? The officer hesitated. Multiple systems. Kale's eyes narrowed. They are surrendering, without a fight? Yes. It made no sense. No empire gives up power so easily. Unless. They already know they lost. The screen changed. New footage appeared. A once powerful alien world. Massive cities. Strong defenses. Now. Human ships floated above it. Silent. Still. No weapons firing. No destruction. Just presence. A message from the planet played. The governor's voice was shaking. We surrender. We will not resist. Please, do not continue. The transmission ended. Kale felt something heavy in his chest. They didn't attack, he said quietly. No, the officer replied. They didn't need to. That was when Kale understood. This was not about destruction. This was about fear. Another report came in. Commander, old human colonies are being reclaimed. Reclaimed? Kale asked. Yes. Every world that once belonged to humans, is now under their control again. How fast? The officer looked at the data. Too fast. It was like humans already knew everything. Every defense. Every weakness. Every system. Kale remembered the words. To watch. To learn. To remember. Now it made sense. For 200 years. Humans had been studying the galaxy. Quietly. Carefully. Suddenly, a new signal arrived. Stronger than all the others before. Every screen in the control room lit up. Commander, it's a broadcast, the technician said. To who? Kale asked. The officer looked at him. Everyone. The signal spread across the galaxy. Every system. Every ship. Every planet. All received the same message. The screen turned white. Then slowly. A human symbol appeared. Simple. Clear. Powerful. A voice followed. Calm. Cold. Confident. We are humanity. Kale felt his breath slow. The voice continued. For 2 centuries, we were silent. We watched you grow. We watched you take what was ours. Images appeared on the screen. Old human colonies. Now filled with alien structures. Human cities turned into ruins. We remember everything. The voice did not rise. It did not show anger. That made it worse. We are not here to destroy the galaxy. A small pause. Then. We are here to take it back. The message ended. Just like that. Across the galaxy. No one spoke. No one moved. Because now. Everyone understood. This was not the return of a lost species. This was the rise of something stronger. Smarter. More patient. Back on the ship, Kale stood in silence. His crew looked at him, waiting for orders. But for the first time, he had none. Outside the window, human ships filled the stars. Endless. Calm. Unstoppable. Kale finally spoke, his voice low. They are not rushing. No, the officer said. They don't need to. Kale looked at the fleet one last time. And in that moment, the truth became clear. The war was already over. The galaxy just didn't know it yet. The galaxy did not burn. It changed. Days passed after the broadcast. No large battles. No chaos. No destruction. Only one thing spread. Control. Human fleets moved from system to system. Slow. Calm. Precise. They did not attack without reason. They did not waste time. Every move had purpose. Planets that once feared invasion now faced something different. A choice. On many worlds, human ships appeared in the sky. They sent the same message. Simple. Clear. Stand down. Live in peace. Or resist, and fall. Most chose peace. Not because they trusted humans. But because they understood the truth. Fighting was useless. On one distant planet, a small fleet tried to resist. They launched everything they had. Weapons fired. Shields raised. Hope, even if small. It lasted less than a minute. Their weapons stopped working. Their ships froze in space. No explosions. No screams. Just silence. Then a human ship moved forward. And in seconds, the fleet was gone. Not destroyed. Removed. Like they were never there. The message spread quickly. Resistance was not brave. It was pointless. Back on Kale's ship, everything was quiet. No alarms. No danger. But the feeling in the air had changed. Commander, the officer said softly, we are being invited. Kale turned. Invited? Yes. Coordinates received, from Earth. Earth. The human homeworld. Silent for 200 years. Now calling them. Kale stood still for a moment. Then he gave the order. Set course. The journey was long. But when they arrived, no one on the ship spoke. Earth was not what they expected. It was not broken. Not weak. Not empty. It was perfect. Massive cities covered the planet. But they were clean. Organized. Alive. Lights moved in perfect patterns. Ships of every size traveled in smooth lines around the world. Above Earth, a structure floated. Huge. Beautiful. Powerful. Commander, the officer whispered, that is not a station. Kale nodded slowly. No. It's a command center. Their ship was guided closer. No force. No threat. Just direction. Then. A message appeared. Welcome. Kale stepped forward. The same human figure appeared on the screen. Calm. Focused. The one he had seen before. You have questions, the human said. Kale answered honestly. Yes. The human nodded slightly. Then he spoke. We did not come back for revenge. Kale frowned. But you took everything, he said. The human's eyes did not change. We took what was ours. Kale stayed silent. For 200 years, the human continued, we watched the galaxy. We saw its strength. We saw its mistakes. Images appeared again. Wars between alien empires. Planets destroyed. Systems lost. You fight without thinking, the human said. You destroy without control. The screen returned to the human's face. We chose a different path. Kale looked at him carefully. What path? The human answered in one word. Order. Silence filled the room. We are not here to end the galaxy, the human said. We are here to guide it. Kale felt something strange. Not fear this time. Understanding. You believe you can control everything? Kale asked. The human shook his head. No. A small pause. Only what must be controlled. Outside, Earth shined brighter. Peaceful. Strong. Untouchable. Kale looked at the planet. Then back at the human. And if someone refuses, he asked. The human's voice stayed calm. They already have. Kale understood. That part was already over. The screen slowly faded. The connection ended. Back in the control room, no one spoke. They didn't need to. Because now, the truth was clear to all of them. Humanity did not return as survivors. They returned as leaders. Not to ask, but to decide. Kale looked at Earth one last time. And in that moment, he realized something that the whole galaxy would soon learn. Humans were never gone. They were becoming something greater. And now, the galaxy belonged to them.